topics like the bank statement reconciliation, and then cash management and liquidity planning, and then we'll discuss about electronic bank statement configuration. These three we will discuss. On the cash and liquidity management, like few things we have already seen on the bank relationship level. On cash and liquidity management, generally, like we enables whenever we want to enable an organization's cash or treasury department to manage some bank account centrally. So then we specifically go with this cash and liquidity management module, right? Okay, because it has all the overview of the different cash operations and long-term liquidity trends, which will be shown in this. So cash managers generally can easily and intuitively get a high-level overview of what their insights are required for the bank accounts, cash positions, and cash flows. Okay, so by leveraging this cash and liquidity management, we can enable to make decisions and actions directly on that. Okay, like there are certain sections are there in which in this particular cash management. So let me tell you what about this. Like we have bank relationship management is one certain segment. Okay, we have cash operations are there, and then we have liquidity management is there. So these are the three important things which we will discuss on the cash and liquidity management. Okay, so bank relationship management is the one which generally discusses or shows or allows you in the public cloud. Basically it will allows you to manage your bank account master data centrally, which I have discussed in the last week. Okay, this will be used to process the like certain closing or opening or reviewing the bank accounts or maintaining the bank accounts. All these things will be there in this bank relationship management. Coming to cash operations, this basically allows you to review the cash positions under different cash distributions, whether bank accounts have sufficient funding or surplus is there, what is your payment obligations, what is your investment accruals are there, what is the available cash in short term. So all that reviewals can be done through these cash operations and their configurations. Coming to simple straight to liquidity management. So this liquidity management allows majorly on the analysis of your past cash flows. Okay, majorly on to forecast the medium-term liquidity trends, analyze where we are with the past trends. When we are forecasting the liquidity trends, this analysis it will brings to you on the board. So basically, it provides certain a life cycle kind of management to monitor with certain various analysis of your plan, actual forecast, different data. It will generally do. Okay. So at this level, this liquidity management will be comes into picture. Okay. So we have seen in the last week, in the last class, we have seen how to manage banks, how to manage bank accounts. We have seen, how to manage different memo records. Also, we have seen the payments. We have seen certain configuration things also. Okay. So especially on the configuration, I have shown you last week, the bank account configuration, house banks, and their extensibility options on that, right? So there are configuration for certain other things also there on this cash operations and everything. So on exposure from operations perspective, we have configuration for the planning levels and planning groups, flow types, field statuses, source applications. These things will be there as part of your exposure from operations in the bank applications. Coming to your cash operations, basically for this one, you have configurations are related to your memo records, free-form payments, and cash flows will be there. So those are the important things as part of your cash operations. Okay. Coming to liquidity management, you have analytics cloud is there, where I'll show you that one also as part of that. So in that only, I'll show you some of the financial statements and their reviews also. Okay. So let me go into this. First of all, from the cash operations level, we will see how you will configure the memo records and cash flows for that. Okay. First of all, in this, we will see memo records and cash flows. Okay, especially from intraday bank statements. and then free-form payments will be there. So these are the three important things which you have to know as part of the cash operations. Okay. So memory cards is the one thing I'm going to explain you now. Okay, I'll show you now. When we are taking care of this incoming, outgoing payments that are not transferred to the system of SAP S/4HANA for cash management through actual postings, we can enter manual in the planning. Okay, like I have shown you some of the manual things also last week, right? So those are, to work with memory cards, basically, we have to define certain settings for that. Like we have to activate source application, and then we have to activate individual source applications for multiple custom activities. Then memo records will be stored from operations flow. We have a standard table in ECC called FQM_flow. That is the one which will store all your one exposure from operations. Okay. So as a result, you have to get this operation before you work on the memo records. You have to set up that, you have to define that. So let me show you how you can do this memo records in the S4HANA public cloud. Okay. Sharing here will be opening this one. I'm going to our CBC and URLs now. Okay, and then development URL. Okay, guys. So if we can go on the configuration part. See here, on the treasury management, cash liquidity management, this is what I told you. On the basic cash operations, you'll have these ones. For memo record, you will define memo record types. You will manage the field status groups for memo records in the configuration, and you will define the number ranges for them, and you will define number range for memo records also. Okay. So you have to understand one thing here. Memo records can be, what I can say, can be understood as, like incoming and outgoing payments that are not transferred to the SAP cash management system. You already know that, everyone, right? That means what? Like through your actual postings, which you can directly enter in the planning. So between the payment advice, which is relevant for the cash position, and the planned items that are relevant for the liquidity forecast, you will differentiate this particular thing. So what I mean to say, for the cash position and the planned item, they are relevant for what? For the liquidity forecast, right? So we have a separate app in the Fiori also. That means in our app portal that we generally do in this public cloud. So in that, you have manage memo records is there. There is where you will create, reactivate, archive, or delete your memo records in the regular scenario as per your requirement. Okay. So you have certain, like you have to create the memo records from there itself only. Okay. You have to provide relevant company codes, expiration dates and everything. And from there, you will just actually take care of that. Okay. But before that, for memo records also, you have to define the memo record types. You have to maintain the field status groups for it. And you have to do all these things. So let me show you what you can do as part of the memo record. So I'm again telling, this will be available for you on the treasury management only, and cash liquidity management, cash operations, in that the memo records will be this. Because I told you right now, right? Memo records are part of what? Cash operations, right? So hence I'm showing you on the same mode here. So let me go into this again. Define memo record types, right? So if you can see here, we have already certain standard memo record types are there. Like, the unconfirmed, confirmed, cash concentrations, loan revenues, etc., are there. Okay, based on the requirement, we have to write new entries also, right? So the new entries is like, for example, I'm writing 2 more entries, like so you have to, if you can go, let me go back first of all. Let me tell you one thing. Right. So while you are declaring your memo record type, you need planning level also. If you can see here, we have different planning levels will be there. What is planning level? On which your memo record will be planned. Either it is grouped under payment advice, or it's a agency business, or it's a outgoing check, or it's a bank collection. There is certain thing on which your memo record type will be catered or categorized. That is what your planning level. Okay, there are many planning levels that are there. Okay, so these planning levels are standard from the SAP. You can select any one from your side. Okay, so cancel this. Now go to new entries. Create a new one. I'm creating some banking memo types. Okay, let's say BK and write like this, and SK. Both relate to what? A planning level. I'm saying these are it for cash payments. Both I'll take from the one, I'll take cash payment, and another I'll take for bank collection. I'm saying this cash payment for the client out, and then here I'll write like bank cash management. Okay. You can give the record categories also if we generally don't need, but we can give like that. It's as actual cash memo, or for intra, I told you, right, intra-day bank statement, or it's like to payment advice, or it's a residual forecast. You're going to measure how much of residue is there, or if you want to mark a planned item, any one category, the memo record category will be into it. So this is I'm taking as a payment advice, and then this I'm taking as a intraday bank statement. Okay. And simply save that. You can create a number of new entries like this on the memo record types.
What do you mean by intraday bank statement?
So this intraday bank statement, when we are, let me say, when we are dealing with a service with your house bank, let's say it's like a reporting customer. What I want to say, when your house bank is providing certain company services, that has to enable your cash manager what are your debits and what are your credits that have been cleared on your bank account through the current day. On a particular current day, you have to understand how many debits have been cleared, how many credits have been cleared. So that clarity will be given by this intraday bank statement in in-house bank. It's nothing but your current net exposure of your banking instrument. So save this after you're done with that and go back. So we configured this. Just they won't come immediately. Just save again. Yeah, now see these two, I got it, which we created. Okay, that's it. This is how you configure your memo record types. Now close this or go back to your configuration panel. Then you will manage the field status groups for memo records also. Like whatever we created for that, right? BKSK, you want to manage, and these will be used when we are creating in the manage memo records in the main app. I'll show you that also. This is the flow. First, we created the now defined field status groups. So this field status groups are what? First of all, we call in simple notation field status groups as FSG. Okay, this controls the status of the fields in your document entry screens and master data, generally these field status groups. So it determines if a field is required, optional, or suppressed based on your configuration settings, right? That will be happen in this FSG only. Okay, your field status groups are generally defined in your company code area. Okay, and generally on as a variant for different things also, whenever you want to group them in the memo records. Okay, it contains the grouping of your fields, that each field it contains as a status of the field that you want to show in your as a suppressing field or a required field or optional field like that. So you will assign that. Okay. So let's create one field status group here. Right here is the new entries. Like say I'm giving group 1, like say FSG1, this 5-letter only, FSG2, say group 1, give the descriptions as group 1, group 2, and save this. Assign these field status groups now. Go to the assignment. For the memory record categories, we can assign whatever we created that. So provide these ones in the display mode. Okay, let's go in the edit mode. Okay, new entries. You have to assign it, right? So first of all, take the memory record type that we have created from the list. See, this is the one which I created, right, in the advice. So take that one. Okay, automatically the category will come. No need to give the category there. So these ones, now you assign the group that I created. Let's say these fields are into the FSG1. Same way, take the SK also, the one which I created. That. Okay. Okay, first of all, we have to save this. Okay, save this. Okay, now again, say okay. Take this as FSG2. For 2 groups I just created, 2 groups I have configured, and for the configuration I assigned the field groups also. Save this. If at all, if you want to know, don't want, you can just simply delete them as well. They have an option for here. So save this and go back. That's it. No activation here. So we define our basic field status groups for the memory records also. Then once we define record types, we assign record groups to, we created groups and assigned the memory records types also to them. Then we have to define the number range for memory record imports and number range for memory records also. First do this one. Number ranges are important for memory records. For imports, we can see later. That is not that urgent. Okay. So here we have to go to the intervals for the number range objects. Okay. Provide these intervals. If you have new interval, you can write the new interval. Okay, you can write a new interval also here in the insert line. Anyway, the interval is already there. So I'm just writing as a just 200 to 9,000, something like that. Just simply say this. Check. So already this one is there, so it is overlapping. So I'm deleting this and just showing you how you can do that. There is number interval with all the numbers from the range is there here. So this is not required. I just want to show you how you can create number range in this. So you can delete this record, delete this line, and save this. This interval we can use for everything because every single number is covered in this. Go back. Okay, and then if we and then if we go to here imports also, now number range for memory record imports. This is not mandatory if you're making any imports, right? For the number ranges, for the memo records and all these things, for that number ranges are required. So that also is there. This is a special thing which you have to make for imports. If you have any specific number ranges you have declared for importing of objects for the memory records, then you have to declare your number range in this. Else you can use this normal number range functions only that we are doing here. Okay, this is the 4 important things we configure as part of cache operations for memory cards. Okay. So once we have done this, what is the next step you have to do? You have to go to your memory card creation. Okay. This is because where we have to do it from our manage memory cards app in the console. So we go to here. This is the one which we have to go. Let me check there. Manage memo records. See here. Okay. You can manage memo records 2.0. It is also another app version added. Let me show you. This is the standard app. Manage memo records is the standard app. Go for that only. So if you go to manage memo records, you can create a memory card. You can create trade request. You can create trade request. All forex trade request. All these things comes under that only. Okay, so skip. So if you can see here, we have these things are there, right? Create memory card, create crash trade request, create cache trade FX and MM. So first of all, I will show you create a memory card, and then I'll show you these things. These are all as part of treasury management. These all things comes into picture. Okay. As part of supporting an end-to-end business process with trade requests created in your SAP HANA Cloud, they will be generally sent to external trading platform. Okay, this FX request. Okay, so with trades will be then concluded as an external trading platform and automatically transfers through SAP trading platform integration application will happen on them. So all the trading requests will do from this trade request FX only from the same manage memo records app. Okay, the same way manage cache trade request MM is also came. So these are, I'll show you now what is the difference also. Okay, one by one we'll configure that. So first of all, we'll create the memo record. Okay, as I said earlier, what we'll do from this app, with this app, you can create memory cards that are centrally expected for your cash flows that are not at generated in the system. Okay, always keep in mind not at, then only have to come to here. Okay, so these will be generally deployed in all your cash management apps. Like, after we deploy this, we will see in cash flow analyzer, we can check the cash flow items, all these things we can do on that. Okay, so let me create first of all a memory code for this. It's very simple. If we go create these, provide these details, whatever the data that we have. (1710) is the US company code. Put the planning levels. As I said earlier, we have the planning level. We have not created any planning levels, right? So we just go with the ones we just selected for that. Let's say I'm taking this cash payment. Select this one. This is all configuration, guys, which I'm explaining. So go for the bank account. So we created this one last time, just putting that here. Okay. If you want any additional fields also, you can just choose those ones from the filter. Adaptive filters, only 4 are there. For example, for the same memory card, if you want any of these fields that you really need, because why these fields are given, so many of our cache trade requests are there. So these are all given, but whatever I am telling you are the original mandatory things: the company code, the planning level, the bank account number, the currency. Only these are required for your memory card creation. Okay, and simply go. We've gone for this only, right? Right. Okay, this is asking again these things. Okay, provide again. Take the currency. Okay, take the planning level here. Okay, these are the mandatory fields. In the general data, we already given here, not required these ones. Bank account we have to give. Take the bank account. The house bank is automatically captured here. And then this offsetting is not required. These are additional fields which you have, which you can ignore that and simply create. That's it. See, the planning layer is already linked to the memory record type 20. There is a warning, so let's take another planning record for this because the memory record type has taken that. I'll take outgoing bank transfer, create. Okay. So we have to take care of currencies because we are sometimes taking INR, sometimes taking USD. So let's take the because company codes are not been relevant in this demo system. So we are just practicing purpose only, right? So hence the memory record is created. So now here, if we go back, we created the memory record, right? We go, you will be saying that the memory record created for us. Let's go here. See, this is created, right? So there will be few things that I want to explain you on this particular thing here. There is an expiry date. If you can see here, when you go select here, you can activate this one. This is activate already. You can deactivate this one. Okay. If you go into this memory record, you will be seeing what? An expiration date, right? It's the standard system design that the expiration date in managed memory records is not mandatory. Okay. But you might require an expiration date when you are working with a memory record, and you can add that as well when there is the need for that. Okay. As I said, in the standard system, this is not mandatory. It is the same in the backend for your, because in ECC, when we are doing in S4HANA ECC in on-premise mode, we use a transaction called FF63. Okay. To do that. Why? Because sometimes businesses do not have a planned expiry date, and they prefer to manually expire the memory records based on their requirements and needs. That is why this is not mandatory. If your requirement is addressing that, you have to make this expiry date also. Okay. And also you have planning levels in the managed memory record. Just selected one planning level. You have seen that, right? So manage memory records. This app will only allow planning levels with your standard bank accounts and sub accounts respectively. This app specially will be used to create memory records only for active bank accounts, which will reflect on the cash reports. If there are no active banking accounts, you cannot get them in this memory record. You have seen, right? I have just added my bank account here. This is activated. If it is not activated, I cannot add it into here. Sometimes what happens, some bank accounts don't have active, but you want to make it in the memory records for certain cases. That is not allowed here. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to load custom planning levels with different source symbols, all these things, you have to use standard reports from SAP are there that you have to use for your mass upload of memory records. If you have mass uploads are there, there is a standard program that you can use it. Okay, I will let you know what is the program name. I'll show you that one also in case if you need it. So yes, so once we create this memory records, okay, let me show you the cash flow analyzer.
So we can put here in the memo records the expected transactions that we would have in coming days or months. So basically a forecast.
Yeah.
These are not yet recorded. Okay.
Yes, for that also, yeah. Okay. So going back to this cash flow analysis, let me show you that. You'll get some idea on that. Fine. So I have just shown you what is the memory, what is memory record, and we have created and we have did the configuration for that also in the configuration panel. So to understand more on cash flow analyzer, we might create the treasury level forex and all these things also. I'll show you it later. But as many of your enthusiastic on this cash flow analyzer, let me show you that. In this cash flow analyzer, this is one such app. Let me show you. If you go to the home page, right? So this app will be used, as I said, the name itself indicates analyzer. Means it will view the aggregated amounts and line item details of your cash positions, which means your medium liquidity forecast, your long-term liquidity forecast, your actual cash flows. You can analyze the over days, weeks, months, of all bank accounts and liquidity items in the cash flow analyzer. So the data in this app will be providing to the user a high-level overview and a detailed data view into the cash flow status to the management also. Okay, so this is majorly for the cash managers who are in the company who want to analyze what is their cash management, where they are, how much of cash liquidity is there, how much of cash was actually in different segments has been getting invested. So all these things generally can be analyzed to this cash flow analyzer. If I don't know how many of you are really doing the role of cash manager in your organization, but yes, for the companies, for the organizations or clients or product level, if you want any cash manager who want to do, they can analyze this cash flow analyzer. Okay. So the core features of this particular cash flow analyzer, if you ask me, hey, what is this, I can do with this cash flow analyzer? Okay. What is the difference between, different flows that we have? Okay. There are some differences also in the cash flows and all these things. Let me explain about that before I speak about this more into it. As I said, this will be used for your basic cash management. Okay. And when this is dealing the basic cash management, there are certain values and settings will be already in inside this cash management app, wherein which they will be used for your different notifications and monitorings and all these things will be used for that. So with this app, basically, you can set the block date range for actual flows in liquidity analysis with certain specified company codes, transaction dates, posting dates. You can block the actual flows in the defined date range also, or they can block actual flows that are you want to flow. There are many things as a cash manager can compare by date range, by periodic range, by different dimensions, filters. You can see the cash analysis. So it's a complete end-to-end cash analysis that you can do, and at a company code level, or at a time period level, or at a date level, or at a bank account level, or at a reconciliation level. So there are many things are there in which you can do that. So let me show you certain data if the data is really into it, or else we have to input certain data for that. Okay. If you go here, put the company code. Okay, what are mandatory fields are there? First, concentrate on that. So this one today I have given. You simply go. Okay, so if you can see here, we can get down to this. For the company code level, okay, we can see if a planning level is also there, you can see the relevant planning level for that. But at this company code level, you can see what are the overdues on this date, and for the next 3 days, it will show it to you. You can see here. See here. So if there are any dues on your date wise on the cash flow you want to understand, you can see those cash flows and their balances in this cash flow analysis. Okay, there are many filters will be there. I have not added all these filters, but if these filters are also added, if they're all relevant data for house banks, liquidity items, period endings, profit centers, trading partners, these data will show you with a extended view of all your cash flow analysis for this. We can see here, we added this one also, segment for this. You can add a segment like in financial analysis, and also you can actually group that. So then this will give you a more insider view for your things also. Okay, like how much of asset cash is there, how much of liabilities I have to pay. So that type of statements also this will display for that. If there is a hierarchy which is already inbuilt for it, you can actually make the hierarchy also. I'll show you that one little later. Now it is not required. I just want to show because how this is actually putting information for you for different requirements that we actually go on with it. So if you switch this views, so there is a delta view. Okay, so the basic features from this app is you can display a list of cash flows with currency, company code, bank account, or you can create your own lists also here. There's a variance lists are there where you can create your own list and you can see your cash flow analysis also. Okay, you can switch between your views. As I said to you, these views you can switch, or there is a bank account hierarchy. As I said, if you go to display hierarchy, if you have a bank account hierarchy, for example, if you have a bank account ID is there. Okay, these are IDs are not there right now. You can actually provide that ID, and based on that ID, that branch, that particular bank account view, one by one as a hierarchy also you can see the cash flow analysis, which will be easy for to analyze in which country, which state, which branch I have this particular cash adjustments happened. So like this, a kind of hierarchies also you can build on your own. Let's say here, like in the cash concentrations also, there are different hierarchies used in which we can leverage further. Okay, and if you can see here, there we have cash pools are there. Okay, what is this cash pool? This is a hierarchy where you assign for your some of the header accounts and sub accounts in the manage bank account tab, where you can see what is your current cash pool, how much of cash pool can be done. All these things are there. But now this is deprecated. This is not in use. This has been taken out from the SAP. Okay. The only thing, two things are there. So this bank account hierarchy and liquidity hierarchy. These are the things which you can see as part of that. Okay. And coming to go cancel. Once again, let me show those things also. So for cash flow analyzer, we have not seen any memo records in this purpose, right? That is a standard app I told you. In manage memo records, when you go to memo records 2.0, this is the app. This manage memo records 2.0, this app is different from the one which we created now. That means there's a small difference is there for this. This app will be majorly utilized for creation of forecasted cash flows or actual cash flows. Okay, that I said, those are not in your system. So the memo records that you want to display in the cash management and to want to you have to provide an up-to-date, accurate view of your organization's cash position. Those are all you can do from this manage memo records 2.0. This is similar to what I told, but these have all record types and everything. Okay, let me show you those ones. So if I go to, I simply go, I'm creating one. There are new things are there. So earlier when I created a manage memo record, there I have not assigned any memo record type. Now, what is the purpose of this cash flow? I told you memo records, whatever you have done monitoring, those are all you can analyze in the cash flow is what I said a statement to you, right? As per SAP. Now I'm demonstrating the same to you. Now when you go to the company code and attach a memo type there, what are the type I created here? Okay. So for this, you will be doing certain cash memo record creation here by certain requirement that you have in your thing. For example, the value date here is today. Okay. Account transaction currency, let's say it is 1000 in INR. Okay. The bank account ID is important here. So taking this one. Okay. These are all not required. Amount in company code currency. Okay, these also let's take in USDs only. Stop. Any confusions, you can do this. Okay. So you don't need to give any of these things for now. It's a simple thing for that. Okay. If you want to assign any profit centers funds, you can see if you want to assign funds for this, for example, different funds will be there. So all these funds, because of memo records, you might have different liquidity funds will be there that you can assign this. If there is a grant, you can assign the grant. There is a liquidity item is there related to that. You can add all those things. These are all we have to create. GL accounts pertaining to that, profit center pertaining to that. These are all we can assign here, and then we can do. This is all mandatory based on the account category requirements. You will assign all these values. Okay, so these are the mandatory ones: bank account ID, currency, value date, and then house bank. Okay, so and the currencies also. So just create this one. See, memory got created. This is activated automatically. Okay, if you go back, this is active. Okay, so once a memo record in 2.0 is created, okay, because in the cash flow, my memo is not there. For example, this memo record I have not attached. This cash payment out for certain $100 is not done. Okay, now I create as a memo record in my system. Okay, now these are displayed in where? These are displayed in all cash management apps. We have cash management apps like short-term cash positioning, cash flow analyzer, cash flow items. These things are there. If you go and check as a cash manager, you will get certain monitoring idea on what your cash is getting done. Okay. For example, as I said, if you can go to check cash. Okay. If you go to the analyzer,
Checking, are the entries in the memo record going?
Right. See,
will it flow to the?
Came here. See, the $1,100. So whatever I generate in the memo record type with the memo record, those are now going into my cash flow analysis, where I can see, yes, that outgoing payment is actually being created on this date. Okay, there were no overdues on top of that, and that has that has this much of hierarchy is what I can analyze in a simple manner. I'm telling you. So if you attach all the other things also like profit centers aligned to it, different like whatever the other parameters, if you really required, then that also we can actually go and check into it. This is how you can analyze the cash flows for your things. See, for example, this one only, if you go down, so for this company code, okay, on this currency, for this bank account, our overdue is not there, and the outgoing payment has been done for this. Okay, so this is your date. I have not given an expiry date. If I give expiry date, after that, this will be automatically expired. You can see here. See that? So that's how you can do the cash analysis from this. Now you ask something, you're saying something. Please go ahead. What is that?
Sorry, never mind. I was supposed to ask if the entries in the memo records is going to flow to the cash analyzer.
It is flowing, right? You're seeing this.
Yes,
they're flowing.
Correct.
So that will flow when you are using this particular item, guys. What is that? The manage memo records 2.0 only. That is the latest app wherein which you can see the cash flow analysis. In general, manage memo records that won't get into your cash flow. That is for only creation of memo records and management of memo records. Okay. If you want to make cash flow analysis, you have to go to that manage memo records 2.0 app. Okay. This is how you generally like create memo records and analyze the cash flows from on top of that. As part of our cash operations, now we explored the memo records, we explored the cash flow analyzer right now, right? So now one of the important thing you have to understand, I'm covering the treasury basics also right now, because in SAP Treasury and Risk Management, one of the most important thing is this Forex, FX. Okay. And MM, which is money market. Two things are there. When I'm showing these two things, see my screen? Let me open this one. Where is this? Here. Yeah. In manage memo records. When you go to here, I showed you that we have three other things, right? Memo record we see. We have to see this cash trade request for FX and MM. Okay. So what are these two? Okay. FX is nothing but your Forex and MM is for your money market. MM stands for money market. So as a basic for your SAP treasury and risk management, but I know you're all finance guys, but you have to understand the basic is there in the module. I'm just covering that because these two comes under that specifically. I can show you that then by giving certain inputs to you. Okay. So the TRM has more geared where finance shows all the financial operations, financial monitoring, all these things are there in our FICO. But TRM in the other side, when you want to know the analysis and optimizing your business processes in the finance area, the TRM has been emerged as a separate module for that. Wherein which in TRM we have different things are there like transaction manager, market risk analyzer, credit risk analyzer, portfolio analyzer. Different kinds of things will be there in the TRM. Okay, so let me show you that before I speak to you. So if you see here, okay, this is your complete TRM module. In TRM module, you have these ones important. In the analysis platform, you have credit risk analyzer, market risk analyzer, and portfolio analyzer. So these are the important things. What are these? Okay. And transaction manager, which is very important for the TRM module completely. And I'll let you know what are these, and then you'll understand the TRM basics first of all. So a core task in any finance department is what you have to conclude. End of the day, not you, me or you who are working in finance thing, we all have to conclude certain financial transactions, right? Okay, so depending on any organization you are working, every organization have certain policies will be there, procedures will be there, right? We call it as company policies. So depending on the company policies, I just want to emphasize, we can either be on providing an internal service that can affiliate the group companies, or sometimes we have to participate actively in the financial markets in order to invest all our liquid assets, planned investments, hedge existing risk, all these things we have to do. So this transaction manager in TRM is one of the very important component, wherein which this will provide the instruments for your financial transactions and their related processes. Let's say from deal capture through or transferring relevant data to financial account. If you want to do that in TRM, you have to do this through your transaction manager. Okay. And system supports all traditional treasury departments and asset management departments on this TRM space. Okay. For all your short-term finance, long-term finance, strategic investments, whatnot, everything will be maintained from here. That is the reason, if you can see here, you have money market, which I told MM, the securities, the financing, the Forex, which I told you the memo, after memo, we have these two things are there, Forex and money markets. These are the two important heart veins for your complete TRM. And you have derivative. These are the different logs which can function under your transaction manager. Okay. These are all the important ones also to provide the base data for this analysis where TRM generally does. Whether if you want to understand whether the market risk is high, down, medium, or it's nowhere existing, then you have to analyze with this data only. Again, if you want to know the portfolio, on which portfolio, like say aggressive portfolio, medium portfolio, debit portfolio, there are different analyzers will be there. So for that, in the same way, credit risking. So these are all the different portfolios and analyzers which can provide data to these systems, banks, markets, systems, and accounting to take decisions on top of that. Okay. So for all that, this is your median. Okay. And here also, where you get data from these individual downstream systems. Like it's from your in-house cash, your cash management. Just by I have just spoke to you on the cash management, all those things. And the liquidity planners, these things will generally help you on that. Okay. This is your total TRM. So coming to this credit risk analyzer, this one specifically focuses on, let's say, it will help you on how can you measure your counterpart default risks. It will give you the analysis of your risks and their mitigating strategies for that. Okay, all these things will be there in your credit risk analyzer. It covers the specific risks that are associated with your financial transactions. From here, you have find any after finance is getting all the data of profits, PL statements on all your different things. If you can provide something data to this, it will then take and it will analyze what are the specific risks that a financial transaction in a company can meet in the next few months or a certain period that was being agreed. So this enables what? This particular credit analyzer enables you to control the risks actively by your setting limits. That is why this is there in your TRM top end. So this is supported by flexible management functions with all online monitoring things. Okay, because there are extensive reporting options are there in this. Okay, as a result, what happens? Managers that means the credit risk managers will be there. Those I'm calling managers. They will be in a position to identify what credit risk can occur and how can we act on that when it occurs. So those can be clearly roadmap to them so that they can run it easily when the risk is really occurring. That is the usage of this analyzer. Okay, so to get that analysis, what you need, again, you need all the data and everything from your money markets, finance, and forexes. Okay, so these are the important things. So these ones only I'm showing you how you can create these money markets and forexes as part of the TRM in my cash flows. Okay, coming to the portfolio analyzer. So portfolio analyzer, let me speak very simple this. So it will gives you a analysis of the funds that are available for your investment that are usually limited for you. Okay, there are numerous, everyone knows there are numerous investment options across the globe, across the fund capabilities and fund analyzers are there. And then analysis of funds will be also taken for you accordingly. So on that, whatever all, as I told you, that will be helped in the portfolio analyzer. Basically, this individual block is designed to provide things like how can I measure my exact return on investment? How can I compare the results to prescribed targets? How can I break down the overall performance into component parts with individual portfolio positions? All these type of questions regard to portfolio will be evaluated and analyzed in this particular thing. Okay, so this is about your analyzers. Okay, and these are, as I said, these are tightly integrated in this structure, and you have many roles in the TRM will be there, but means whatever the roles in finance will be there, that will not be given here in the TRM, because you have TRM admin, TRM risk controller, TRM back office, TRM fund manager. There are many roles are there. So if you are a guy who will take care of the cash and all this trading also, then you get the role, then only you will see all these data. If you don't have that roles from your admin, you can't see this data. Let me tell you that. Okay. So now coming back to our scenario, let me show you how you can do these things. Okay. Now we will be creating the forex trade request. Create cash trade request, which we call FX. Okay, let me create a cash trade request here. At 12 o'clock, I'll sharply stop this. Okay, this integration is not enabled in this. Okay, let me see this here. Okay, if we go to this, once again, let me copy this. Let me put that initial configuration, because I said it's a treasury related thing, right? So it will not allow you to do these things. Okay, let's go to a CBC. and enable that configuration. First of all, let me show you that how you can enable that. This is the cache activation, guys. This is what it is saying. Define basic settings. If you go here, it's saying to enable that. This is what it's saying. Enable bank account activation. That is what it's saying, right, for us. Enable cache request integration indicator. Okay. So I have enabled these things here. Let me check. System default, I kept it here. I'm just saving these ones. Just refresh that. So in the last 1 hour, I showed you all these things, right? Memory cards, everything. So if you want to further create any planning levels, planning groups, if you have to maintain block levels on all these groups, everything you can actually do from here. Okay. Even for bank statement settings also you can do from here. This is for this basic cache operations. It will be there. So now I'm just checking only for that account. Define authorization group and this one, the basic bank management. We check here first of all. Right. See, once I given permissions in that app, I'm able to create the cash trade request. Okay. The instrument category, again, it is your Forex exchange undefined. Again, in Forex exchanges, you have your fast forward, you have spots, you have swaps. Okay. Different things will be there. So based on the instrument category that you are dealing with, you can actually select this instrument category. Your value date will be always the current date. You will buy and sell the Forex. You will be having this Forex trading. This is all trading, right? But trading, because whenever you do for these things, you will just go for this buy or sell. So let's say it is sell. So you have to give all this again. It's the company code and all these things for that. Okay, so I have given this one. Okay, the requested amount. Let's, it is, well, okay, 120. We are taking USDs only, right? Always, let's take the USD. Okay, if you have all the cash request data is there, you can fill it all these things here with all your sending banks, receiving banks, instruments, partners, payees, all these things you can write it whenever you want to configure this. Okay, this will be your administrative data, lost, changed, on, created by, created on. Those you can't do anything. Okay, now create this. Okay, okay, traded currency. Okay, I want it in INR. Okay, this currency pair we have defined for currencies there. Let's say I'll do for Okay, let me pair the currencies for the first of all this one. Okay, define the currencies for this in the configuration. If you go back to the configuration page, we go to configuration. Here we have currencies. Here exchanges are there. Here you can also do, and here also we can do for company codes and all these currency valuations here in the general settings and in the accounting also both. When you define here, I don't know whether USD to INR is there or not here. Let's check it here on the top down. Usually SAP is provided all these currency conversions. Let's add that if it is there, it will prompt a prompt for that. So checking. See, there are two exchange rates are there, standard translation at average and for cost planning. So based on that, you can create your exchanges also. Whenever you want to define your own currencies here, I'm taking here standard translation at average rate from USD to INR. Okay, to INR. This is valid from today. Okay, and then just simply saving this record. Okay, I'm just saving this record. Okay, and go back. So that will be there anyways. Again, save that for your configuration. And then we have this one also, which is let's see. We have defined the translations, right? Let's review these ones once again. The cash trade request, because these are the initial configurations. We have to concentrate before going for trade request, as there are many translations will be there, exchanges will be there in the currencies. So now save this. Sorry, this is done right. We have to go for this one. Yeah, this one we have to review it. Okay, now create. Okay, let me recreate this. Let me close. Sometimes this won't be created like that. Just got this draft. Let me add this currency settings here also. Currency conversions are maintained or not here also. I'll do for that because at company code level only we are playing this apps, right? So global currency conversion settings. New entries. Yeah, new entries here. I'm just putting the value here. Okay, the currency from USD, and this is your source currency, I think so. Source currency type again, document currency something. Okay, and here we'll be writing this standard trans. This is what I selected there only. So based on the document date or posting date, I can take this one. Okay, save this record. Okay, this is already existing, then it should work. Okay, let me check on to that once again as we have added these things there. The app. Okay, so I don't know if the same error come now. I'll just check it in the settings one more time tomorrow, okay? Because we have certain doubts to clear, right? So don't want to waste time on that. Okay, I maintained, but it is not reflecting. Okay, I have to check this currency pairs once again because this currency pairs I created but it's not taking. Let me check the configuration into it because this is where we generally put all these currencies and exchanges. Let me try this one once again. Process activation, inventories. Okay, there are some tables in which it is missing, I think so. It is not allowing me to do. Let me check that currency translation tomorrow and I will show you tomorrow this one. Okay. Exchange rates also there. This is not setting actually. This is all for your currency exchange rates that you can create. But this will not help you on that. That is a setting you have to do. This is not a configuration. That you want to see a clean screen of balance sheet with all assets and liabilities. Okay, I'm in this balance sheet only. Just showing. Let me show you this. You can go into this app view, the home. Okay. Yeah, separate sandbox I have no for getting because the data that we want to show to you, right? So I've taken another request for that. So here, if you can see, I have set this company code. So when you go for any financial statement version, Karshad, so you will be having, I said these ledgers will be there. You will be selecting the ledger and then immediately we will be selecting the financial statement version will be there. So let's say I'm going for this demo version right now. The statement type is normal. And then if you want any statements regarding to your movements or openings or actual plan like that, of your balance sheet data or financial data, you can actually opt like that. But majority will go with normal only, and you will see the period comparisons that you want to compare here and the currencies that is there in that. Simply go with this. You can see all these categories here, assets, liabilities, and all these things. If you adopt these filters and go for segmenting again, if you add OK to this segment, if you go to segment C, go again, okay, these will all been grouped like this. Okay, if you can see under assets, your financial, we can actually configure these versions also. I have not covered that version. We have in the upcoming class, I'll be covering these versions also. But as you asked, I want to see data of these balances, all these accounts, everything. I'm showing you how the data will be retrieved. So in the assets, generally you'll get all like current assets, stocks, and again, if you drill down, you go to the raw material and supply, still raw material. So if you go to current assets, from current asset to till raw material, you can drill down and you can see on what GL account relevant to it, what is your period balance, what is your comparison balance, what is your absolute difference and rate difference also, you can get it. Okay, these are all your filters you can be showing. These are all the same thing that you can see here. In the same way, if you go for liabilities, so for example, payables are there. So accounts payable, someone asked me also this question. So on the accounts payable, what is your payables domestic? So relevant to this GL account, this will be your period balance, this will be your absolute difference. In coming to your accounts that are not assigned, same thing with the different GL accounts. Like this, you have consumptions for supplements. So your total balance sheet income statement will be posted here with all the relevant GL accounts, balances, and absolute differences that you have posted in your earlier receivables and payables. That's how your account statement looks like. Okay, this you can actually put it to a PDF also as a setting for that, and you can send it to PDF, and you can leverage that for your further process. So this is all accounts. Again, you have different things are there. If you want to see only balance sheet, you can see only assets and liabilities. Okay, or else if you want to see only PL account, if you go to the PL account, only PL account will comes to you, wherein which you can analyze your operating balances and like all these operating KPIs like revenues, material expenses, personals, operating expenses based with all this data. Okay, if you can drill down also, for example, revenues are there. In revenues, you have these ones like products, domestics, adjustments. So in relevant to these GL accounts, your revenues has been captured to these period balances. Okay, and if you want to understand the unassigned accounts, these are all the unassigned accounts. Okay, this is your categorization of all those things. Okay, so like this, you can evaluate your balance sheet income statements from the financial things. So we have to actually you to get the bank charges into that panel, right? So you have to activate your bank charges in the business transactions of your incoming payments. Okay, your incoming payments and your global settings will be there. There you have to define accounts for bank charges for the customers. Then you will get that bank charge in that incoming payment breakout.